Hi, and welcome to this space. My name is Justine Nagore, and I'm excited to bring you a series of emotional freedom technique guided videos. These videos are specifically designed for some of the trials and tribulations that empaths and HSPs, highly sensitive people, can find themselves struggling with. So, first of all, what is EFT, emotional freedom technique? This is basically like acupuncture, but without the needles. We're working on meridian points, which have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for many, many years. The meridian points that flow through our body, and we're going to be tapping on points around our face to help stimulate those meridian lines that pass through various organs in our body. And if you imagine this is an organ and a meridian line passes through, we hold emotions and sort of feelings and imprints from our past experiences within our organs. So when we create a stimulation, we help to release trigger points, memories, feelings, emotions that might be held there in that particular organ. We combine with this. So, on one hand, we have the meridian therapy. On the other hand, we have talking therapy. So we're using the both in combination together. And with the talking therapy, we're being very real about acknowledging our problems. We're not trying to suppress them or hide away from them. But we're as much as we're acknowledging our problems, we're also saying, hey, I'm here, I'm accountable, and I'm so ready to deal with them. So when you combine the two, the meridian therapy and the talking therapy, it has a really beautiful magical effect. And that is, it helps the amygdala, which would normally, when you have any kind of situation that might bring up some triggers that make you feel emotionally sort of overly overwhelmed in comparison to the actual reality of the situation, that is when the amygdala has sent out all the soldiers to go out and fight the battle that doesn't actually exist, the battle that might have happened when we were 5 years old and we felt a really sort of trauma response to something. And it's remembering that we're all different. And what is a trauma to one person might not be received the same way as another person. So it's about not going into a space of self judgment. It's just about being in a space of acceptance and witnessing what is your reality and your truth in this moment. So, with the amygdala, it will send out those trauma responses, which is sending out the army to go and fight the battle that doesn't happen. And they're going out into the field and they're all kitted up and they're looking around going, where is this fight? Oh, it's not happened. Let's go back to base again. The problem is you've already had that feeling. And so it perpetuates that situation, anything that might have a slight resemblance to the original situation. And it can be as simple as a smell or seeing something that happened at the same time can elicit those responses. And it's those responses that we want to work with. So when we're tapping and we have specific points that we're tapping around and tapping in a specific way. So please watch the next video when I go through the tapping, because you might think, oh, I've done it all already, but it's very quick and it just gives you a little bit of insight and might teach you something that you might have missed before. So when we tap on those points, we use the talking therapy. The amygdala instead gets the memo that says, okay, somebody sent out something saying that there was going to be a fight, but I can tell you there's not. So you might find that 50%, 60%, 70%, 100% of those soldiers that are sitting waiting for something to happen will get that memo that says you might hear a siren, but actually have a cup of tea, don't worry about it. But if you've only got 60% that got those memos, you might still get a few that go out. So you might still get a bit of a response, but it's not as high a response. And they'll still go out in the field and they'll go, well, there's nothing here. Okay, let's go back to base. And then next time it might be less. So with EFT, it can have quite a dramatic effect quite quickly, or sometimes it can be a process. And there's no wrong way to receive this. The idea is with emotional freedom technique that ideally we get to the root of the problem. So something that historically might be happening now over and over and over again might be something linked to your childhood. So, for instance, let's talk about perhaps control issues, where you find it really hard not to sort of micromanage every single thing in your life, but you know actually it's stressing you out. You don't want to feel like this. So perhaps that might have come from an experience in your childhood where you were told that you needed to do better, where you feel you had done your best, and you get a sense of like needing to overachieve and to be in control of everything to receive praise and love, which you perhaps didn't receive in the right way or the way that you needed it when you were a child. So with these EFT curated videos, they are scripts for a group. So, and you can do them singularly as well, but it's not quite the same as a one-to-one. So with a one-to-one, you're going to get in the moment curated scripts for exactly what is going on with you. And there's a great rapport and a dialogue that will go on. So it's really quite fast hitting in a great positive way. With a guided scripted video, which is what you're receiving now, can have a great effect as well. But remembering we're not having a rapport one-to-one, so I can't curate it to exactly what is going on with you at the moment. So I'm using a generic scope focused to a particular issue, and I will let you know what that issue is on each video that you're going to come across. Um, but the invitation is to make it yours. So if I use a word that doesn't resonate with you, when you're tapping and saying, please insert your own words and please go into the feeling senses of the body as well. And if you're suddenly feeling, oh, my tummy feels a bit twisty turny, insert those words as well into the script. So I hope that makes sense for you. You can always contact me if you want to know more about EFT and if it isn't making quite sense to you right here, right now. But try it and then you'll see that it makes sense. Please go on to the next video, which is going to talk about the tapping points and how to best set up for a really good EFT session. Thank you. Over and out.